Bishop,
Yes.
we meet again.
Welcome.
What a Monday it is. How is your Monday so far?
My Monday is good. It's great. I had a meeting in Bungoma yesterday. Wonderful gathering, which was a blessed one. I came back very tired yesterday evening.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I know yesterday, I know you have heard or you watched. Of course, yesterday the United Opposition were in, is it Murang'a or Othaya?
They were both in Murang'a and in Othaya.
Yeah, all of them.
But I think it was in Othaya church where
they were all of them.
they went to the same church where there was fracas.
Matiangi, Kalonzo was there, Eugene Omalo was there, Martha Karua was there. They're all of the United Opposition. And Matiangi yesterday spoke boldly, you know, he kind of, I don't know, but can we say he attacked the church? Because he said that in his statement or in his speech, there's a part he said that the problem or the problems Kenyans are facing right now, it's because of some of the church leaders. It's like some of the church leaders who supported this government are part of the problems Kenyans are facing. As a man of God, what's your take on that?
But from that clip, what I can see is that he's appealing to the same church leaders to support them, just like they supported President Ruto. He's telling them we are on the same boat again. We have found ourselves on the same side. In other words, right now it's time for you church leaders to support us. The same church leaders that was President Ruto was appealing to in 2022 general election to support him, he's also appealing to them to support them. So I can't say that he's saying that they should not take sides, because he's appealing to them to support him. So there's no difference between them and Ruto, because Ruto appealed to them, they supported him, a section of the church. And I would say that all churches supported Ruto. There were churches which voted for Raila. And there were churches which voted, especially from the mountain. The majority of the church leaders were for Ruto. And like in Nyanza, most of us were for Raila. That's a fact. We cannot.
Church leaders?
Yes, church leaders voted for Raila. Most church leaders in Nyanza voted for Raila. So the issue of saying that churches voted for Ruto and that's why they should be condemned, because even in Nyanza and Western and even in where Kalonzo comes from, church leaders voted for Raila. At the coast, some church leaders voted for Raila. So just like in some church leaders in Nairobi and in Mount Kenya voted for Ruto, some church leaders also voted for Raila.
But again, don't you think the church should be neutral when it comes to matters concerning politics?
The church should be neutral.
Not take side.
There are areas where the church should not be neutral. There are some issues that may be affecting the country. A church, as from the biblical perspective, should be what we call as the voice of the prophet or the voice of God or God's representative.
But 2022, they were the voice of Ruto.
I can't dispute that. I cannot dispute that. Surprisingly, most of them, church leaders who voted for Ruto, regretted later on. I took note of that. I saw that in the year 2023 and 2024. People like Teresa Wairimu and quite a number who voted, church leaders who really, like Teresa Wairimu's church, that's where Ruto was officially prayed for and was given a Bible. And I think that's where Ruto's wife, Her Excellency Rachel Ruto, attends the church service. But take note of this. This one thing I would like you to know about Ruto and Rachel, his wife. These were people who are born again, like me here, and spirit-filled. They were very, very active in the church. Ruto and his wife, Rachel.
True.
Yes, Ruto and his wife, Rachel, were very, very active. In fact, in 2017, I and others welcomed Rachel Ruto. We welcomed Rachel Ruto in Crisco Church, that church near Ondiek. In 2017, we went with her up to Milimani. And Ruto's wife is a real committed Christian. That's Rachel Ruto, a real committed Christian. So these are people who are close to us. Personally, they have been inviting me in many meetings. There is a servant of God from Nakuru called Apostle William John Kimani. William John Kimani has a ministry that is prayer for the nation, national prayer for the nation. In 2018, 2017, he invited me to Uhuru Park. Ruto was there when we had the prayer meeting. Ruto himself used to be a committed evangelist when he was a student in the university. It was only politics. And most of these people, most of these politicians, even Wanga, Gladys Wanga, used to be a committed Christian. Millie Odhiambo used to be a committed Christian. The late Otieno Kajwang used to be a born-again committed Christians. But once they get into politics, they change. But one thing we must know with the politics, there are some things in politics that even if you have to be partisan, if you have to be neutral, you cannot be. There are some things which are wicked that as a Christian, you have to stand against, you have to condemn. So you cannot say that I will be neutral. Being neutral is just like sitting on the fence. Or like the ostrich hiding your head in the sand. Yet you know there is a problem. When you know there is a problem and you keep quiet, you don't talk. We have a chapter in the Bible, in the book of Ezekiel, that says, you are a prophet, Ezekiel. If you see there is something that is coming to bring bloodshed in the land against the wicked, warn him. In other words, you should not take sides. You can only take sides when you find the other side. There must be another side which is wrong. Both sides may not be right. Both may be wrong. Both may be right. But at times, there will be one which is not doing right. It's not doing the right thing. So as a servant of God, if you see wickedness, you see evil, you see something that is not right coming in the land, you should warn, you should caution, you should tell people, you should warn the wicked. So the church has to speak when the church sees there is a problem here. Something is wrong here. But if we really tell the church, don't take sides, don't be on this side, don't be on this side. Like for example, here is somebody that is killing people. What is the role of the church? Warn that person. God is against bloodshed. God is not happy. We have prophets in the Bible who would warn kings. What you're doing is not right before God. Prophets. In fact, kings were installed by prophets of God. In the Bible, we have what we call the kingly anointing. We have the prophet's anointing. We have the priest's anointing, which means the king will rule together, working hand in hand with the prophet or the priest. But only if the king or the president or the prime minister is somebody that is willing to toe the line. In the Bible, we have a place which says the wicked, when the wicked rules, when the wicked is in power, people don't have peace. The nation is scattered. But when the righteous rules, but the wicked also is given chance. A wicked king can change his ways. He can turn around.
But when campaigning, and what about now? Let's say a church is taking say in terms of campaigning for certain politicians.
That one, I don't advocate for that.
Yeah, that's.
I don't advocate for that.
It should be neutral. Let's
Yes,
say campaigning
I don't advocate that for the church just to be open, to be campaigning for a particular candidate.
But because this is something that we always see around the world, not only in Kenya, even in United States. You remember even the Islamic Muslims showed their, decided to support Trump, Christians, the church.
Well, what we say as the leading democracy in the world, that is in the United States, the Republicans are mostly supported by what I may call as the radical Christians, the fanatical followers of the faith. They are the ones who support the Republicans. And these are the people who voted overwhelmingly for Trump, Christians. Whereas the Democrats are supported mostly by the LGBT people and immigrants, as well as Muslims, do vote for Democrats. A few also vote for Republicans, but the Republicans, the evangelicals, are the ones who usually vote for the Republicans. There are things that the Republicans stand for, which Christians see are going to erode the values of the Christian faith in America. You know, America is built on Christian faith. America is built on faith in the Bible. And so the Republicans do rely on that, given that Washington, one of the first presidents of the US, used the Bible. So if they see something that they feel is not scriptural, it's not biblical, it's not supporting their faith, they will vehemently oppose that person. Like Obama, they were really opposing him, but he had the upper hand because he attracted both sides. Even some Christians were voting for him. Many were voting for Obama. Obama himself is a Christian. Many Muslims voted for him. Many immigrants voted for him. The LGBT people voted for him. That's why Obama is said to be one of those who won with a high margin of votes in America. So I would say Christians or the churches or religious leaders should not in any way at all campaign for any candidate. In the case of this candidate doing something that they feel
It's wrong.
strongly feel that is against their faith, they have the right to warn him as prophets of old. In the Bible, we have what prophets of old would warn people, individuals. We have a prophet called Elijah who would go to Ahab and tell him, "You're worshiping Baal." The worship of Baal. We have gods that people are worshiping in the Old Testament. But those gods also have reinvented themselves in our generation in various ways, though we may not apply the biblical terms they were using those years. We had the worship of Astoreth, the worship of Milcom, the worship of Molech,